Bible says to ask and you will receive, to seek and you will find, to knock and the doors will be open unto you. You have to do one thing first before the other thing happens. You got to put the action to work. It's got to be a concrete plan, and you got to have faith. You put those two together, you're a dangerous person.
Right, so make sure y'all take action after watching this video, not just watch it.
But have a structured plan. And here's the kicker with all of this. I didn't know the plans were going to work. There was no guarantee. But I still made it anyway.
Yep.
It's only crazy until it works.
Facts. Welcome back, y'all. Devon Travell, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game. And today we have a former professional basketball player who has made the transition from court to corporate. And he's going to tell you his journey on the court and how he finally made that transition. Please welcome Dr. Augustine Okosun. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you.
So this is a whole new world for me. And maybe the folks that are watching know about this. Yeah. But I feel like just the different European leagues and to be able to travel all around the world, the Middle East leagues, like this is all brand new to me. Yeah. So how do people learn about that? How do people, I don't know if there's multiple websites. I don't know if they need to be working with an agent.
You have to have an agent.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had an agent. I had multiple agents actually that worked with me to get me these contracts. Mm-hmm. You sign a contract for 6-7 months. You go there, you play for the team. They pay you X, Y, and Z amount of money that you agreed on. Mm-hmm. And when the season is over, you come home. Getting an agent is one way to do it. Okay. The one way you can find an agent is through FIBA. You can go to it's called FIBA. It's called Federation of International Basketball Association. To be an agent, you have to have a FIBA license to be a sports agent. Go on FIBA. There's so many different segments on there under the website. You can look for one that says agent, click on it. You're going to see agents by country. Agents in the United States, there are agents in Europe, all over. Reach out to them, copy their email and their phone number, reach out to them, send them your videos. If they like you and they see your skill set is good and teams are looking for players like you, they would take you into their agency, work with you, and help you get contracts. You get a contract, you go to play, you make your money, do well.
Nice.
Take it from there.
What are other people or professionals that athletes should have around them? So you said the agent would be one, going to FIBA, getting your person. Are there other key people that a 22-year-old or 25-year-old out there in Qatar making X amount of dollars, who else should they have trusting in their circle?
I would say in your professional circle, look for people that are already playing and going to places that you want to go to. Okay. And ask them which agency they're with, right? Get to know that agency, see if they can get you jobs from that professional standpoint. Go there and do well. The great thing about professional basketball overseas is, even though these countries are very different, once you do well in one place, people know about you. The word spreads. You find one agent that is good, so you did well in Qatar, he's going to get you to all the different countries around that region. If you go to Europe and you do well in Germany and a great agent sees you, he's going to get you to different countries all around Europe. So in whichever continent you are, as long as you do well, really well, you really came in and made a great impact on the team, somebody's going to get you and move you all around that area. But another way would be to go into the FIBA website and find an agent there. Another thing I would say about having the right people around you outside of your professional career would be people that are driven. You know, they can be driven in sport, they can be driven in, just find someone that is driven, whether they're in tech or sports, whatever it is they're doing. They have a knack for wanting more out of life, really pushing themselves to attain excellence. That's who I was hanging around with, you know, and iron sharpened iron.
Yeah. So
if I'm hanging around you and you're talking about chasing women and that's not my thing, then I'm in the wrong place, right? But if we have commonalities, because you're setting goals for yourself and you're saying, in a year from now, this is who I want to be. In 2 years from now, this is who I want to be. And I'm saying, I want to do all these amazing things too. There is alignment there. We're speaking the same language, you know? So I think just having core group of people that are driven, passionate about what they do, they're great with, you know, good morals, people that are not going to get you in trouble. That plays a big role in a person's success. So find people that are driven, people that want to do well. They don't have to be athletes just like you. As long as they have excellence in their mind and they're taking steps every day to attain that, you're in a winning circle.
That's good. Any thoughts on an accountant at this point, someone to do social media? Like, are those things important
Absolutely.
at that stage?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't do that so well when I was playing basketball. That's one area when we talk about, you said we're going to talk about, some of the things that I regretted not doing. That for me was one of them. I would come back from overseas, right, with 25, 30, sometimes $40,000 from an 8-month season. If I knew better then, I would have bought properties every single where.
Tell them, yes.
I would, and I still talk to young guys, and I'm like, bro, how much did you make this season? He's like, why are you in my pocket? I'm like, just tell me how much. He's like, I came home with like 28,000. I'm like, how much do you have in your bank account before you went? I got like 20. So now you got 48, and you're getting ready to go overseas again. I'm like, bro, go buy a property.
Yeah.
He's not getting. I'm like, go buy a property. Go make a down payment. Make a down payment of $25,000. Find a condo, buy it, put somebody there to live there. Go overseas. Get your mom to collect the rent and pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
If I knew that as a 25-year-old, I would have had 10 of those by now.
Wow. Yep.
And it would have changed my life forever.
Yeah.
And real estate is so basic. You don't need so much to get it done. You just have to be able to pay your mortgage every month, take care of things when they break down, and collect rent.
Yep.
That's it. And it's your personal bank. Instead of going to getting a loan from elsewhere, if you tell somebody you have a property, they'll give you a loan like that.
Yep.
Just make sure you're able to pay it back. So if you're making that kind of money overseas, get an accountant, look at investments. And if you want to keep it simple, just buy real estate and let it sit there.
Yeah.
That's it. You can always group them up together later and be like, I have 5 properties. I want to start this business. Sell 2 of them. Get physical cash that you can use or you can get loans through those properties.
Right.
So that's an area that I regretted not knowing so much about. So again, to your point, get an accountant, learn about investments, learn about the right investments, and with NIL deals, find the people that know so much about them, and listen to them, get the good instructions that you need to get, and make wise decisions.
Yeah, that's really good because me and my queen, we were able to buy a condo in the LA area. It was about $15,000 down, worth $300,000 when we bought it. And just within 4 years, it's now $480,000, right? So an athlete who's doing this multiple times, they're in overseas, they're in Europe, they're in Qatar, living their best life. But every year
You're
they
buying
buy
a property.
right, 1, 2, 3,
Somebody
4.
told me that if I watch a video of a guy saying this when I was younger, absolutely I would have went and bought that video because I had that money.
Right.
I had $40,000 cash. I had that multiple times. And I was just helping family. I wasn't doing anything crazy with it.
Yeah.
I was just helping family, paying my rent for 4 or 5 months in the US and going back and making more.
Right.
And but it never dawned on me. They're like, I should have bought properties.
Yeah. So I think you were responsible, but I think a lot of other players may have gone to Ibiza for the summer, maybe go to Vegas, like spend it on the table, spend it on a really nice outfit.
No.
But you take that same 20, buy a property, it'll appreciate, create equity,
Absolutely.
and then sell it 10 years later, and you got some money.
Absolutely.
Good. That's good. So I want to kind of get to the transition from EuroLeague, which seems like it was a great time.
It was.
To retiring from being a professional basketball player and getting, I believe, back into academics.
Yes.
So can you talk about that mindset and transition on why you gave up traveling the world,
I know,
having a good time,
I know,
to go back to school?
I know. I just I think of myself as a trailblazer in many ways. I rarely follow a trend. A lot of them turn out to be fads. Right? It's an overhyped thing and then it fades away. And it doesn't make me feel unique when I'm doing everything that everyone is doing. Now, if I absolutely have to do it, I will. But most of the time I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to do something that is very few people want to do it. Right? When they say something is hard and it's only 10 people trying to do it, and
go for that.
2 million people are going the other way, I want to be one of those 10.
Wow.
That's just how I'm wired. Because there's something about it, I'm like, yeah, I'm unique. It proves my uniqueness to me. that I can do hard things and I can do it. And that thing that makes me feel special, I feed it by saying only a special group of people can do this, and I'm one of them. So really helping people learn who they truly are and find that uniqueness in them in doing hard things, I think is a separating factor. Will help you advance in life. With transitioning from basketball, I thought about my intellectual properties. There's so much more to me than bouncing a ball. There's so much more to me than traveling around the world, living well, but the whole premise of that was around basketball. So I think, and I didn't break my knee or had a horrible accident, playing sports for me to walk away from it. I just decided over a period of time, I said, okay, I'm in my early 30s. I should start thinking about next steps. So being a proactive thinker, I was like, what can I do? And I thought about, not a lot of people want to leave sports and go do something else that is completely out of sports.
They become like a sportscast person.
Sportscast person, a coach,
right.
A sports mentor, which I thought about. And then I said, the kind of life that I want to live, would that give me that kind of life? Right? And I found out that it's only a few coaches that make it to the next level as an NCAA coach or as an NBA coach that are able to attain those kind of lifestyle that I wanted. And coming from Nigeria, education being a big deal in my life, I thought about going back to school. I said, okay, what's going to help me academically separate myself from a group of people in a specific field? At that time, I decided I wanted to do healthcare. So I went back to school, got my master's degree, and then I did research, spoke to a few mentors about what a doctorate in healthcare leadership would mean to my career, how that would propel me in knowledge and doors that could open for me. And I knew it was going to be an uphill battle. I knew it was going to be tough. But all I had to learn was only 2% of people in the world have it. I was like, yes, I want to do it. Sign me up. It's going to almost kill me, but I'll do it. That's the one. 2%, I get to be part of that 2%. The special group, yes. Sign me up. So immediately, while I was finishing my master's, I started my doctorate. So I was doing the master's and doctorate for the last year. And then once I finished the master's, I graduated, did my celebration, continued with the doctoral program. And it was still hard, even with that grand plan. It was still hard to give up basketball, So when I find people today that are not able to make that transition from sports to a different life easily, I have empathy for them. I can understand, because even with my grand plan, I was still conflicted in my spirit. I'm like, this is my identity for years.
Did you get like conflictions from coaches, friends, family?
Yeah, there were agents that I worked with that said, man, I have a job for you. While I was in my master's, I already decided I wasn't going to play. And I was tempted to want to go overseas again. I was like, nope, there's a path that you're going to take. I had to force myself to stay there. With my Nigerian family, they was like, no, we want you to get all your degrees. So it was easy with my family. There was no pressure there. And I had made enough money to have some sort of cushion in that first 2-3 years that I was preparing myself.
That's important. When did you start saving for the cushion?
That last 5 years.
Okay.
That last 5 years of walking away, I had the plan. I had a set date that on this day, this is gonna be my last season. 5 years prior, I had that plan. This suit I'm wearing, I made when I was playing basketball. So I met somebody in Bahrain whom they make these suits for like $250. I remember trying to buy a suit in the US, and it was so expensive. And I was like, here's an opportunity right here. I can make these suits and add them to this is going to be the suits I'm going to wear in my new life, in my new career as a white collar person. I made 15 of them.
15.
Wow. I bought 15 of them. I had them custom made. And I told myself, I will make sure that I maintain this shape that I was when I was playing basketball.
That's hard.
10 years from now and going forward, so I can still fit these guys, or they would be a waste.
So what's the workout routine right now to keep the professional athlete 3-4
days a week? I'm in there. 6 a.m., 5 a.m., I'm in there. I run, I swim, I cycle, I do push-ups, I play basketball, I play tennis, I play soccer. It's just something that I do. It's a part of my discipline.
Right.
Keeps me healthy. It keeps my heart moving at a good pace. My longevity is great. The odds of my longevity is higher because I'm healthy with what I'm putting in my body, but I'm exercising 3-4 times a week. I do a lot of hip stretches because I sit more now in front of a computer than I do running around like as an athlete. So I make sure I take care of my hips. Being a tall person, one of the first areas that you have problems with is your hips. So I always make sure that I'm doing those hip stretches, that I'm doing yoga, I'm doing whatever it takes to make sure that my functional movements doesn't change. So, but just having that forward thinking mindset has helped me in so many ways. Like I said, making those suits long before I got my first job as a corporate person was a plan ahead. Making the 5-year plan, and in 5 years I'm going to stop. I want to have enough cushion to help me through those years where I'm going to like try to start this new job was a plan ahead. Envisioning myself in the suit and some office making 6 figures was a plan ahead. Preparing for the school I'm going to go to was a plan ahead. Knowing I'm going to get a doctorate wasn't a plan ahead. There was no surprise factor. These were premeditated plans that I had. And I encourage more people to do that.
Yeah.
See a future for yourself and then map out a road plan of how you're going to do it from A to B. Okay, I've done B. Wait a year because B is taking forever. Once I get B, go to C. Then go to D. But have a structured plan. And here's the kicker with all of this. I didn't know the plans were going to work.
Yeah.
There was no guarantee. But I still made it anyway.
Yep.
I still made it. So when people say, oh, you have to have faith. You have to be a dreamer. You have to believe that these things are possible. And people are going to say, oh, you sound crazy. It's only crazy until it works.
Facts. Google, Facebook,
right?
Everything sounded crazy until
it works. So you have to be a dreamer. You have to believe that these things are possible. You have to believe that people that have accomplished those things do not have 4 heads. They have 1 head like you. They just did it.
Right.
So figure out a way to do it. Figure out a way to learn a new skill. Figure out a way to be more personable with people. Figure out a way to learn Microsoft, how to learn spreadsheet, learn how to balance a book, learn how to the competency skills that somebody looks at and says, I'm going to hire you. I'm going to pay you 6 figures every year. And you keep going up and up and up. Learn those skills and just go for it and just plan it out. See yourself. I saw myself in this space years before I became this person. I had this, it wasn't like a vision. I put myself there and say, I am that person. While I was doing my master's class, before I had the job, I had faith in myself. So that's something that I try to speak on a lot with younger people. It's like, I have to see it before I believe it. No, it doesn't work that way. Go in there believing it's going to work out.
Yeah.
But not just blind faith, right? Because you're just like, oh, I want to manifest it into action. Doesn't work. Faith without action is dead. You got to put the action to work. It's got to be a concrete plan, and you got to have faith. You put those two together, you're a dangerous person. And my dad used to say, growing up, work as though that's all you know and have. And then go around and have faith as strong, like that's all you know and have. So if you have faith, like that's all you dream of and talk about and be about, and you work as though that's all you know and be about, and then you put those two together, possibilities are endless. So that's what's worked for me. And then and just being blessed to have family that is instilled that in me. That's the key.
Right.
So with people that don't have that, find people that have that and tie yourself around them. You'll be amazed, people that want to help you, that want to indoctrinate you and show you good things. If you just let them know, like, I want to learn, help me. You know this stuff. I want to be you. Another thing I did when I was transitioning from basketball into healthcare, I would wear my nice suit and pretend I was Mr. Big Time and go to hospitals and try to talk to the CEOs. Like, I want to meet the CEO of this. Like, you can't do that. These guys are big. You can't just meet them. So I would go online, look for hospitals where I used to live, find somebody's email to connect me to the CEO's email. And I would send them an email and say, hey, I am so-and-so. I'm a healthcare administration student at this university. I want to do a day in the life with you, or a week in the life with you, or a month in the life with you. I want to just learn. I want to be in that position and just, I need mentorship. You will be surprised. People that see that kid doing that, they'll open doors for you.
Right.
But people don't ask. The Bible says to ask and you will receive, to seek and you will find, to knock and the doors will be open unto you. You have to do one thing first before the other thing happens.
You know, it's like that first domino falling.
Yes, you have to ask before it's open. You have to seek before you find. You don't go find before you seek. You have to go seeking, then you will find it.
Right.
So I sent many emails. I only got 3 back, but those 3 was enough. I spent time with this CEO of this hospital down in Ventura County. The very first day I walked in his office, and I spent the first hour there, I was like, this is who I want to become. I was in the right path. He solidified my decision to go into healthcare. I don't want to be in the C-suite. I want to be a CEO of a hospital one day. Then I started working my way backwards. How do I get there? Okay, I got to be a supervisor first, and I got to be a manager, then I got to be an operations guy. I got to get a Lean Six Sigma certification. I asked him a plethora of questions while I was in school. I didn't have a job yet. I saw myself as a CEO.
Like I say, if you stay ready,
you will be ready.
Exactly.
So, but spending that time with that guy really helped me, because I saw the vision. The vision was clear. Oh, my dad wasn't an engineer. My mom is not an engineer. There is an engineer out there that you can email. Go find an email. Go on LinkedIn. Type in engineering association in California. You find people that are engineers that belong to that association. Keep digging. You're gonna find people's email. Email them and be like, hey, I'm a first year engineer in college. I want to do a day in the life with you. People will make time for you.
And you might not get everybody, but all you need is one
person,
maybe 2, and you're good. And
you'll be surprised. There are many people. I always say this because it's worked for me. People want to help more than we think, and they don't have to look like you. They want to help. They just have to see someone that has drive and wants it. That is all they need. People, when I have that kid that reach out to me where I am in my life, I would make time for them.
You're making time right now.
Right. So rich, be confident, riching. And when you get the no, it's okay. You go dig in some more, find another one, then rich. You keep throwing a hook into the sea. It's like throwing a hook into the sea. And you're like, oh, I'm not catching anything. You just keep throwing. You might have to say, you know what? I don't like this side of the sea. Let me turn and face that side. But the one thing continues. You're still throwing. Because let me go deeper into the sea. Or let me go towards shore. Whatever you're doing, the consistency of seeking, throwing that hook is there. You're trying different things. You're poking in different places. At one point, you will get something. But the one that walks away after first try is already doomed. You just go to obscurity. You go to, where you want it to be, and you never know. Not knowing what the outcomes could have been is a place most people are comfortable staying. I'm not. I want to know that I've tried everything before I can conclude that there was nothing there. Concluding on first try, that's arsenal. You don't want that.
No, I don't want that either. And that's why I consistently throw the hooks out, throw the bait out for you to like and subscribe to this video. You've watched many videos on this channel, but for some reason you haven't subscribed yet. Make sure you like, subscribe. And if you learned anything inside of today's video, drop that nugget below inside of the comments. One of the huge things that you said was faith without action is dead, right? So make sure y'all take action after watching this video, not just watch it and consume it passively like you may do other videos on YouTube or on Instagram. Part 3, I want to get into court to corporate specifically. But before we even get there, can you talk about why you chose to transition from being in, and possibly you're still in, health administration, the health field, to creating this mentorship program, court to corporate?
I would say the reason I did that is because I saw how many people, younger people primarily, were moving aimlessly. And I saw the wealth of knowledge that I have absorbed over the years, right? And I'm like, I have so much to offer. I have so much to give. And it only makes sense to pour into people, right? Because that is my legacy. Be able to have my son one day, say his name, and somebody goes, oh, is this person your dad? And they say, yes, like, I watched your dad's video. I met your dad at this conference, and he spoke to me, and it changed my life. that is my legacy. That's what I want to live. So I find myself also, I find myself in these spaces where I'm the only Black person in this space. I'm the only person of color in this space. And these are top level places I am in, organizations that I will mention. And it bothers me that I don't have more people that look like me in these spaces.
Right.
I'm not comfortable being that only person there. I'm comfortable in that space, but if I'm advocating for things around diversity, equity, and inclusion, I'm a single person saying it versus me and somebody else that understands the struggle of minority groups. Could be Latino, Black, like Arab, whatever minority groups are in this country or around the world. Having someone to advocate that understands, that sees my mom in that mom that is struggling in that space, that sees my sister in that woman that cannot get through that space because of silos that people put them, right? Me being that person in that C-suite, being able to say, no, we should train our doctors to be able to talk to people in a certain way because this is how they were raised, this is what their culture is, and we have to educate those doctors that those people are going to come see that has never lived in that person's world a day ever, to understand that person a little bit more. So you don't have some of these things that are happening in healthcare because of disconnection. So I think for me, just seeing that value, seeing that I'm able to reach, I've reached those spaces, and I want more people to have access there, is one of my factors that pushes me. Is just teaching people that these things are possible for you. It's not far-fetched. It's not an overreach.
Right.
It is very possible. And then once I get the person to believe that this is possible, then I get to show them these are the steps you take. These are the degrees you have to have. This is who you have to become. You can't be, I want to be a real one out here. And it's not your world. It is their world. You're the one going into their world. You're the one that want to get that paycheck from that world. So you have to learn to assimilate yourself to that world without compromising your core values.
Yeah, and I think it's beautiful, you as an example of taking your core values and you transition that into a foundation, transition that into a brand of Court to Corporate. I think that's a great example that other people should be able to embody your values, embody your brand, and create something from it to teach the next generation. And that's exactly what I want to get into in part 3. Make sure y'all stay tuned.
Absolutely. And I'll add this before we stop. There was a second part to that question that I didn't answer. Call to Corporate obviously I thought about what would be a great name that means a lot to me. I thought about, I went from the basketball court to the corporate world. And I realized, I did my research and I found out that only a select few people can make that transition. And I thought about, how can I bridge that gap? How can I be that voice of reason to show people that this is very possible? A lot of the skills that you carry from sports, you can transfer
for sure
into the sports world. And people in the corporate world love athletes. These are when you go to the Clipper games or the Laker games, those guys that are sitting in the front, they're the top people in the corporate world. They make a lot of money. They're able to buy those tickets. So they adore athletes. So if you're that guy that has played at that level and you have the competencies, the education, the skills to want to come to the company, yes, bring him in. They will bring you in because this is the closest they've been to people that they adore.
Right.
So it's imperative to know that you have those skills. You are like you being a high level performing athlete. You're likable. People want to be around you. They love what you embody, but they don't love it enough to give you a job just because you're that person. They'll love it enough to know that you have all those things going for you, but you also are competent to do the job in the corporate world through your education, through your experience, through your likability, through your willingness to learn, through your personal skills, emotional intelligence, that you're not going to go in there and get constructive criticism or want to burn the place down because you lack self-control. So if you have all those things going for you, the corporate world wants you more than they want the person that's never played sports. There are certain companies that specifically hear that you were an ex-athlete and you're also able to do this, he goes, wow, you're a unicorn. In a sense, you're a unicorn, you're rare. Like most people don't make that transition. You were able to do it.
Right.
You know how to persist. You know how to pivot and change and turn and become whatever you want to become. Oh yeah, that's the guy you want. When the project that they are doing in the company goes south, they know how to pivot. When everything is going well, they know how to be personable. When adversity comes, they tap into who they were in the fourth quarter of a game when they were down 30 and they still said, we're going to win this game. And they did what they had to do to fight and pivot and do what they needed to do to win.
Oh.
You have that in you now, but you're using that in project management. You're using that in motivating people. You're using that in talking to vendors that are going to help you finish a project. Just those skills, it's a treasure to have.
The treasure, valuable. And we're about to head into the fourth quarter right now. So I told y'all before, make sure y'all keep taking notes. This next segment is going to be a master class. Stay tuned.